Good morning. How's everybody doing? Me and Miss Daisy we're over here at the bow range. We haven't been here in a long time. Usually do all my practicing around home, shooting pine cones and walking around in the woods hunting when I'm pig hunting, shooting stumps and all. So I had some guys that asked me, how do you aim a bow? The guys that were just beginners. A lot of you guys this hardcore, y'all already know all this stuff, but this is basically a video for beginners on how to aim. And for my buddy Tyler, my young friend I just met, I went pig hunting with the other day. He's going to be a phenomenal hunter. And so what I'm going to show you here is an aiming method. And I started out shooting instinctive, just draw the bow, grip it, and rip it. And I killed a lot of animals like that, but I also missed a lot of animals like that. And I become frustrated with it, so I learned to gap shoot. And that can be like a sin in some circles, but most of those guys can't shoot, to be honest with you. There's very few people that I know that shoot totally instinctive that are really good shots. And there are some people that can do it. I'm not saying it don't work, it does. And I was a good shot shooting that way until I made a few bad shots, and then it took me forever to come out of it. So, and you won't hear me knock how people shoot. I'm just being perfectly honest from 40 years plus experience shooting a bow. For me, learning a gap and then shooting it so much that it becomes, without even conscious shooting, I guess you may call that somewhat instinctive, but you have to have a starting point, a reference. And so for you beginners, I'm going to show you, we're going to shoot at 5, 10, and 15 yards. You got no business shooting past that, especially if you're a beginner. So that's what we're going to do. But I'm going to show you this aiming method and show you how to learn your gap. And you work on this, and I guarantee you it'll help you. A lot of you guys, older guys that's been shooting compounds, you want to try a stick bow, and you're an aimer anyway. You're used to putting your sight pin on there. Well, this is going to help you a lot. This will have you shooting good, quick at 15 yards. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you this right now. On this range, I've been out here a lot of times, and people have come up, they're shooting compounds. And the very first question, almost without fail, one of them I ask you is, how far can you shoot one with that? If that's the mindset that you have, then don't even buy you a longbow or a recurve. Because this is not about how far. This is about 15 yards or closer if you want to find most everything you shoot. This is what you do if you want to learn how to learn your gap, and I'll show you how to use your gap out here on the range and how to use it hunting as well. But by the time you get to hunting, it'll be automatic. You don't have to think about it. But I'm going to shoot the first one at 5 yards, because we want to find how the arrow behaves from 5 to 15, right? I'm going to draw the bow back. I'm going to put the point of my arrow right here on this line right here where this insert's at. And the arrow's going to hit up here somewhere. But I want to find out what that gap is. So I'm going to put my point here and hold it on here and try to have a cleaner release as possible. And I bet we're going to hit up in here somewhere. So I'm going to step back, I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to step back to 5 yards, which ain't very far at all. And then we'll shoot one arrow. I'm only going to shoot one because I only got 2 arrows, they wood ones, and I don't want to tear them up. There you go. Them compounders have wore this joker out. They can hit them little spots. I had my point right here. The shot felt pretty good, and you see where I hit. And I wasn't trying to hit him in the center of the kill, which it just worked out that way. But notice what my gap is. This is my gap from the impact to where the point of my arrow was at. So I don't know how many inches that is, but I compare that to a deer's body size. That's about the chest of a big doe right there, right? I don't care about measurements. I want something in my head I can use in the woods. So what we're going to do is back up, shoot this same shot at 10 yards. All right, I don't know if you saw that first there went right through the hole. So the second shot, I came up a little bit to about right here, and you can see it hit about that much higher. So let me get my arrow before I forget. We may have to get over there to the side and shoot to the side. But anyway, right here is where I was looking on the first arrow. I had my point here, shot through the hole, same place at 5 yards. And so I didn't want to shoot through the hole again, so I just raised my point up and hit that much higher right there. So the gap for 5 and 10 yards is from here to here. So let's back and shoot to it at 15. I think now, instead of shooting here, I'm gonna come over and hit back here somewhere where I don't shoot through the hole. All right, there's my 15-yarder right there. I was looking right here with that corner right there. See, they're even, and it's about the same gap, maybe that much higher at 15 than it was at 10. So basically, on a deer, I could shoot the same shot. So we've established that from 5 to 15 yards, we can hold at the same gap. Because these arrows would have been right here had I held right there. And so every arrow that I shot would have been in this circle if I'd have held in the same place. So, but what we have to do is memorize that gap. And that's still about the chest width of a deer right there, right? And we're not going past 15 yards. We're beginners, so we're gonna shoot at 15. So you can measure this if you want to, but you gotta memorize this gap. Eyeball it, memorize this gap. So let's go back there. Let's go find us a deer somewhere out here on this range, and I'll show you how to use it in the woods. All right, we got us a ram here. It's not a deer target, but kind of the size, maybe the size of a good buck, but you get the idea. Remember, our gap was about this wide. Remember, about from here to here. So if I want to hit, I shoot at the bottom third of an animal. So if I wanted to hit this deer right here, then I'd bring my point up to about kneecap high right here, and my arrow's going to impact up here, correct? Let's shoot him one time and see. How about that? I was holding my arrow. I held my arrow right here, and it impacted up here. That's what we're after, right? We've developed, we know what our gap is. That was like 8 yards. So let's back up here. I won't step it off because we know that here we go. This is probably about 15 yards here. So we know that if we draw our bow back and put it the body width below, we determined what our gap was, and put it below where we want to hit, hold our form, the arrow's going to go right there pretty close every time. 5 yards to 15, probably out to 20. But 20 is too far for an old guy like myself, because I don't like to track all day. I like to hear them fall. So let's shoot this one here. A little bit higher than what I normally like to hit one. But you got to find out what your gap is, and then you go to the target, pick the spot you want to hit, drop your gap below that. And the way that I do, when I was first learning this gap thing, now I just look at the spot I want to hit. I draw the bow back, and in my peripheral vision, I see the arrow down there in the gap. But a beginner, you got to have a good repetition, a shot process, I guess you would say. You see your animal you want to shoot, you pick your spot, you look down and find the gap, then your eye goes straight back to the spot you want to hit. In your peripheral vision, you see your arrow set in your gap while you're focusing on the spot you want to hit, and you make the shot. As an old instinctive shooter, to me, I tried looking at the gap, and I ended up sometimes shooting down there. The arrow went where I was looking. And I know some guys, I don't know any hunters that do this, but I know some guys that shoot tournaments that they will look at the spot they want to hit, drop down below and find their gap, and they never look at the spot they want to hit again. They focus on aiming, holding their point on that. Camera like to fell down. Holding their point on that gap right there. I got my pig hunting apparatus right here, so I should have brought my tripod. But anyway, all that yapping. We're gonna shoot him this time in a hunting situation. I pick the spot I want to hit, set my gap, and shoot. Well, I'm gonna have to conclude my video because I got 3 minutes of camera time left, battery. But I think you get my point right there. If you're a beginner, learn your gap, and there's a lot of good videos out there. But learn what your gap is. Grip the bow the same place every time. Anchor the same place every time. And draw. I don't hold the bow back. I come on back and hit anchor and let her eat. The longer I hold, the worse my shot is. So that's what I do. I can't help but shoot this brand new black bear right here though. We're gonna try to squeeze a shot in before the show's over. But anyway, once you learn to do this gap shooting thing, no matter how you shoot, split finger, 300, whatever, but the 300 gets the gap closer to you. And once you learn how to do that, it really helps. And you do it through repetition so much that you'll get where you don't have to go through all that, like, where's my gap, blah, 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 all that stuff. You just look at your spot and the arrow just go there. But it gives you confidence knowing that you're looking at your spot there on this black bear here I want to kill really bad. And I know that if my point's down there around his kneecap down there, as Jimmy Blackman would say, then I'm going to kill him. Let's see. Good hunting shot on a black bear. We're going to pretend we're in the Okefenokee over there. In this black bear season, if we can get the camera to behave. I'm about to lose camera. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope it helped somebody. Thank you for watching. All right, y'all. I want to thank y'all for watching. Thank you, good Lord, for a fine day. It's a little wet, but we need the rain. And you can see my shooting method works. And they do have a bear season at Dixon Memorial in the edge of Okefenokee Swamp. And we're going to try to go get us one of these this year with our bow this coming September. So y'all keep following us along, and we try to go deer hunting tomorrow. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you, Lord, for a fine day. And you are a meathead. Get out of the way.